Yeah, everyone, this is Thermite, and this is my reaction to Zetman, Volume 10. Ah, such a good shot. I love that we had Alpha's last volume, and now we can finally see him in all his glory. Also, I realized just now that I recorded the entire previous one with the wrong preset. Sorry about that. My head's probably like slightly going over the page. It'll work out. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm mostly saying that to myself. I mean, you guys have no choice. Sorry about that. But yeah, this is really good. Again, I like the fact nothing here is cut off. And also, yeah, like this would look good even if you didn't see the flat parts. I don't. All of the colors have been canon so far, right? Yeah, they have been. So I guess that means that Alpha's actually is like blue and white. Actually, yeah, that makes sense because now that I think about it, uh, in the like again in the first color space, the first color pages of Volume 1, we had Alphas and Zetman. And in that, I remember at the very least, like his chest thing here was blue, so that makes sense. I don't remember the badge. I don't remember like he wasn't wearing the mask at all. Obviously, it was just adult Koga's face. So I guess yeah, especially if it was kind of dark, that would explain why I didn't notice this. Yeah, so I guess this could be his final his final suits. That is super cool. Anyways, going right in. Even so, I will. Ah, and again, yeah, Koga or not Koga. Jin is still in the like the pre-Zet form, or like incomplete Zets. It's just the sort of like bluish tinted whites. I know that the anime apparently is kind of strange, but I cannot wait to watch it anyways. Like if the fights are even slightly good, like look at how good the contrast is here. I would love to see like just those flashes of alphas fighting these the shrimp, because that would be such a really cool color palette. I love how red they are. They're so red, especially since right now, incomplete Zet isn't red. Like this is the perfect time for him to like be amongst a bunch of red corpses or like red monsters in general. His heads up display is all blue tinted too. That's really cool. I Man, I love the colors in the series. I find it so surprising to be honest because like I don't know why. Every time I've seen colors in the series, they've looked good, but just I keep on being surprised by how good they are. Like I love the way it's all shaded in. It's so like the texture makes it so good. Like it feels sort of like a 90s OVA but much more detailed. It's like all the good of like, the 90s OVA like, bubble economy aesthetic mixed with like modern high detail like CGI renderings of like backgrounds and stuff. Even though I'm sure this isn't CGI. This all looks hand drawn to me at the very least. And actually it might not be. Now that I think about it, the perspective, especially for these, is really, really good. Like that could be just incredibly well hand drawn, or it could be like digital. Despite my appearance, I'm no good with water. Huh, that's interesting to note. Yeah, because he's a shrimp. They're all shrimp. Okay, what to do? Because yeah, he's running out of juice, right? Isn't there some way to power up cell delete? No, you just used up all of it. Understood. Thanks. Nope, cut off again. Uh, wasn't a lie. Konoha's going to live. God, I love these guys so much. The soul of Alpha still lives. Again, yeah, if you told him the truth, then it could have lowered his status. The fact that he still believes that she's going to be okay, and the fact that, it's not a lie that you believe she's going to be okay. I think that was a good decision to make here. Ah. Oh man, okay. Are we gonna do this? Are we going to get alphas and zets in one fight? Another player? No, it can't be this soon. I was thinking that, oh, maybe we'll have that scene. But no, that can't be this soon because he's not perfect Zet yet. Like, he's not red. You'd think, right? Okay, good. Just just fight him. Just fight him and he'll know at the very least, like, regardless of whether he thinks you're a player or not, at the very least he'll know that you're an ally. Youngest was Shu. Okay, okay. So yeah, one of them was a crab, then who the fuck was Shu? The water boatman insects. Oh, that could be it, I guess. Oh yeah, we had the whole thing with the kanji last time. That explains it. Okay, okay. I think they need names for the reverted forms too. Something mysterious like Prawn Evil or Crab Evil. What do you think? That's kind of great. Like right now, I'm rewatching Kamen Rider Kuga, and that is a series that, as much as I like it, I really don't like what they do with the monster names. Where like I do like that the humans and the monsters themselves have different names for each monster. Like I like any series that can do that. The problem is the human names are literally just numbers, like number 5, number 23, because like they're just calling them that in order of when they appear, and that's really annoying because like especially since no one else really uses those numbers, and you don't really see those numbers outside of that one monster's arc. It's very hard to understand. Like okay, so when they talk about like in hindsight, oh yeah, you remember that thing we got from number 7, or like well we tested this out back during the number 23 case. Like it doesn't click in your mind because you're like, well wait a minute, who was number 23? And then the monster names are, I think the monster names are great. The problem is the monsters are the only ones who use them, and they barely use them. Like the naming scheme is 3 distinct like parts to the name. Usually when they use them in like in a language we can understand, it's just the middle parts. Otherwise, like when they use the full name, it's usually just in their own language, or sometimes it's not even like the full name. So it's like, well, what? Like I can kind of figure out what their name is, but like especially since like if they don't use it very often, then it's just like, well, that's just a nonsense word. What could that be? Or once you realize, oh, that's their name, it's just so. As much as I appreciate what Kuga does, or like at least attempts to do, I do think that like there is a charm to something like this, like Prawn Evil, Crab Evil. At the same time, it's not very good because it is just like, oh well, that's barely a name. That's just like a descriptor of what they look like. I feel like a good name has to be somewhere in between that then. Like something that is distinctive while at the same time not just, what they transform into and then like the name of their species. That feels a bit too lazy. I don't know what I would do for Zetman though. Like I guess Prawn Evil or Crab Evil kind of work, but it feels weird if they say that as if that is their name because that feels so weird. I don't know. Like I guess this makes the most sense. The fact that they get to choose their own names and the names they choose are based on like, insects. But like it's on a direct reference. I guess that kind of works. I just don't like it because it doesn't really translate to English very well. Oh. Okay, that's why. So they created a fake sweeper specifically so that they would feel like the serum worked. And then that was the one we saw killed. It was just a fake sweeper. That's pretty cool. Money's like whatever, it's infinite. Is this donuts? We'll have to make loads of fake sweepers. What? Uh, I don't know if your money's infinite. Also, it is interesting that this one seems to have the same ability as what was his name? The kid from the murder house arc. Like he's got the bugs, and like I've seen the bugs before, but I thought this might just be surveillance. I guess if it's surveillance plus that same ability of like being able to power someone up or being able to control them, that's pretty cool. From now on, we'll be spending money like water. It is donuts. We'd better take care of your hearts. What does that refer to? Like, it could be completely good natured, but it could also be like a memory wipe or something. Oh, it looks like it's going to be a memory wipe. Not going to allow it though, right? 1. Using more would be meaningless. Okay, so I do remember in a TL note they put in at one point, like, the way this is written is supposed to be important, right? Alright, he's getting bugged up. That's quite the jump in power. No need to fear Zet anymore. Alright, shut up and listen. Can't be unless we cooperate. Alright, this is good. We're gonna see them finally fight together. And again, he doesn't even know what's going on. He's just like, oh wow, I awakened to my true power. Huh. Okay, so I don't think Jin would lie though. Like there's no purpose to it. Oh man. Okay, so I don't think it was a lie. Clearly it is his back. It's just, well, because his sword ran out of power, it didn't manage to do much. Oh, wow, wow, wow. That is so clever. Also, does that mean he has like a separate arm just for this? I mean, I guess he could have just worn like the suit over that arm, but because it's attached so easily, it makes me think that he probably does put on like specifically like an alpha's arm onto his normal body, and then he puts on the alpha suits. You have my thanks. Your advice calmed me down. Oh yeah, straight through the heart. Did it hit? Did it hit? Oh, and now he's releasing that shit that I was confused about before. I don't think we saw it with the other players though. Like that sort of, those almost petal-like sparks. If we did early on, I don't remember them. But yeah, like I definitely understand that now. Those were coming from the shrimp, now it's coming from him. Already, chapter 111. That is nuts. I like this guy already, like as a antagonist. As an executive, you should at least know about those you use. Wait, okay, so he was working with the sweeper? Or at the very least, like he made that sweeper clone with the sweeper's knowledge. Yeah, admittedly, it's a good technique for drawing out the unloyal. Right. I mean, as we've said before, he is the white sweeper, and Zet is at this point the black sweeper. So I guess his existence is useful in a way, even though they can't control him. Oh, he reverted back. Okay, so now it's just known. Now Alphas knows 100% for sure this is Jin. Oh, what a good shot. In my arms right now is the real thing, a real live transforming hero. That is such a good way to put it. And again, like for the second time this night, he took off his mask in order to help someone. Yeah, right. It was all because of him. You saved that trapped family by doing the unthinkable. Disappeared into the blaze, just like the heroes I longed for. Oh, that is incredible. Yeah, like in the end, Koga really has been trying to just chase the ideal of Jin this whole time. You're creeping me out. Aww. I'm moved by you, by your existence even. That is so nice. Okay, yeah. So it wasn't that his weak point was specifically the back the entire time. It was specifically because Alphas attacked the back so many times that made it weaker. Oh, that's so clever. Yeah, and that explains why he didn't think of the back as being the weak point originally, because it wasn't at that time. It's just, it became his weak points. And then to simplify it all, he just said, the back is his weak points. You're not a monster at all. Right now, you are the only one in the world who is capable of protecting humankind. A real hero. That is fantastic. Oh, did it collapse? Okay, never mind. So it did collapse, but she was in the bathtub and that saved her. Okay. Thank God. Right. Oh, that's really cool also. Like, it wasn't just that he, like, initially thought, okay, I don't want to talk to them. It's like, it is almost subconscious. Like, because he was so focused on the fight, because he just subconsciously didn't want to accept help from anyone else, he wasn't able to contact them. That is really cool. Like, I love everything about the Alpha suit right now. Aw, glad you're all right. Ah, and all the homeless people are just bowing to him. That is so cool. They waste her memory. That's probably for the best. Again, this oppressive, imposing shot of Corp every time. So oppressive. I do really like, yeah. Like in the end, I can't imagine her growing into like a character that could like help us in the plots. This is probably for the best that she doesn't know. It would just hurt her more to fully understand what happened. She would have been completely traumatized. Ah, oh, what a good page. I love it. This really was a chapter that kind of screamed thank you. Or not true. Yeah, thank you. I love it. Wow, this was so satisfying. Then the cleanup. I feel like this has to be the end of the volume, right? It feels like such a good ending. Although I guess because it feels so final, it's probably going to not be that clean. I really do like this concept. It can be used in a shitty way, but I do like the concept of, as long as it worked out, then there's nothing to apologize for. Or like, hey, you tried to kill me, but I'm not dead, so it worked out. Like it is kind of dumb in that aspect, but at the same time, I like the idea of it. It feels very manly. This is also a very good way to look at it. Like, yeah, the suit is incredible. Like, doubling your physical prowess is pretty nuts. Like, especially in a sort of realistic series. I mean, like, with all the player stuff, it's hard to call it realistic, but like, I do like the at the very least they treat alphas as being a bit more realistic. Like again, some writers do that, where you have like the main characters who are very like straight up magic or straight up just like biological super science, but then you have like another faction or like another writer who is like purely just technological, and they always feel like they kind of lag behind because like they're treated more realistically in quotes than the main writer who isn't. I think that's a really cool aesthetic. And like especially if that writer or that hero can look at it like this. The idea that yeah, I'm like I'm not as good, but at the same time, like I've moved so incredibly forward. It is nuts. Like the idea that a little muscle ache is the price you pay for being like that far beyond human, that close to being superhuman. That is amazing. Yeah. Thanks to the suit, in a moment I became a Superman. Right. And again, like just the fact that he is willing to like basically this entire time he has been like just praising his tech team. The one thing he really complained about was just the fact that oh yeah, it's not like real alphas, there aren't any wings, the face isn't there, there's no cape. But like he always like he's just been nothing but the best, nothing but the best. He's such a good boy. He's got his problems, but overall he is just great. This is down to the forehead decoration. I hope Koga's not gotten too attached to it. Also, I love that concept. The idea that like this is still very clear. Like if this was supposed to be like awful quality, they would have made it awful quality. This is still pretty decent like design. It just comes down to like, well, we had to put the thing on his forehead and that made it like, less clear. But this is still really good. Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah. Like he had the helmet on when he was fighting, but I guess he like maybe he subconsciously blocked out Zet, or not like blocked out, but like he subconsciously decided he didn't want to capture Zet on film. Either that, or it could even be. No, it can't be. Because this is all being built like without any like knowledge of the players or like the players' biology. I was thinking that maybe if it's sort of similar to the players, like the closer he is to Zet, the more it shorts out. You have a haircut? Yeah, it always grows out. It always grows out. I had no idea Konoha was an Amagi. Right. Yeah, they're trustworthy. They aren't like the Amagi Corps people. Right, like this is not the aesthetic he likes at all. Like the aesthetic he enjoys is basically that room. Like everything in it was very nice, like top quality shit. But it was very small and he was in the slums. So yeah, this definitely is not a place he can relax in. Konoha hates me, I see. Of course he does. Or of course she does. I do like how more human he's been getting over the course of the series though. Yeah, I do love that so much. Like he has genuinely grown quite a bit. Mother could never fit into that culture. Hmm. Yeah, again, she wanted a divorce. He would not allow it, so she's just never coming back. In his place, I would have erased a lot of them. Right. I do like that though. Like the fact that he has, he's developed this much, and because he was such a shithead when he was younger. It's so weird to say younger, considering that he's looked kind of like this for most of the series, apart from the really really early days of like the pre-players flashbacks. But still, like the fact that he was that kind of person, that he was that cruel, is why he's able to like think of stuff like this. Felt the depth of your sin and so created Zet. What you said before proves it. Is that true though? I won't do anything that makes Jin hate me anymore. Anyone with a heart will abandon Amagi. That's a very good way to put it. Alphas is my baby. How could I refuse this request? Oh man, that's great. Okay, that is really nice. So the next time we see Koga, he's going to know basically everything. That is really cool. I'm so happy. Royal Straight Flash. Aw, I'd rather die. Okay, their relationship is really cute. I think this is great. I hope we eventually learn like what is going on though. Like she ran away from her parents. I feel like we kind of have to deal with that at some points. Caught him in the play fight. I hugged him. Aw, that is super cute. Okay. Oh. Okay, so are these like player sensors? Oh yeah. And because they aren't cameras, that would be very easy to put in. Alpha's getting really busy with callouts. Huh. It's like I'm drunk on people. That's interesting. Also, I actually really like the way he reacted to that. I felt like that to an extent before. I'm not super anxious when it comes to crowds, but I guess I'm more anxious when it comes to individuals. And I have had this thought process of I don't like being around crowds. Is that privileged? I do like again the fact that he is willing to continuously like look at himself. He's able to completely look at like the way he acts and go, I'm not sure if that's okay. I'm not sure if if I'm being too elitist. I'm not sure if I'm being the kind of person I don't like. Anyone who does that is okay in my book. Aww, that is a great page. Yeah, it's finding a different reason to live than the extermination of players. That's so good. Like at this point, I hope that everything goes as planned. Like I want Jin to eventually become the complete set through his own will, without being coerced or forced into it. Like I guess forced in the sense of like if he's doing it because there's no choice because it's like, oh no, this is dangerous, I need to protect people. I guess that's okay. But I don't want him to be like forced into it the way Grandpa McGee was trying to force him into it in the past. This is such a good way to put it. Man, this series is so good at phrasing things. No, not next week. How about now? Yeah. Yeah. As much as alphas is important, come on, man. Pay attention to your girlfriends. Oh, man. That is nuts. And all of that happened like right in the same area. What are the odds? Let's get an umbrella. We'll just buy one cute umbrella. Aw. There are so many good pages here. Oh my gosh, I love them all so much. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I just need to save that page for future reference. We're getting it so we can be lovey-dovey and share it for the rest of our dates. As much as she is a little annoying, I do really like her. I really do. Oh, is he gonna reveal the secrets? Long preambles have always been a bad habit of mine. Oh man. Seriously, Grandpa's getting so good. This feels so very serious. I I find it so interesting how the mangaka is able to like make a scene like this feel so uncomfortable and serious whilst not really showing anything too serious. That's a perfect compromise. Like of all the things he could have said, I was really worried he was going to say something like, "No, you can't be around me at all. You have to go away." But yeah, he's he's willing to take that risk, even though it is a little unconscionable, even though he is putting her in danger because it makes him feel good. Like in the end, he's willing to say, it's up to you. If you don't feel safe, then please, it's okay if you leave. I'll respect that. But I don't want you to leave. And again, we have that contrast where they're going to see this, but they didn't in order to tackle this, which is pretty important from a character standpoint. But then we cut to Jin or to Koga, and he is watching it with full intent. Yeah, this is where we passed by before. God, that is a brutal way of describing it. Like I am absolutely loving the way their relationship is changing. It's the same way I feel bad for Konoha, but like you had to have said something before. That's it. Like Jin couldn't put his happiness or like his life on hold for your sake. I still think there's a chance they could get back together, but at this point I don't really want them to. Because I feel like if that were to happen, then Race's girl would probably be killed. Like I can't really see the two of them breaking up otherwise. Man, so that is Zetman. That is Zetman Volume 10. That was really good. Like, I really like the way that this progressed. We started off with. Also, first of all, I thought that this volume was going to end here at like chapter 114. I was not expecting that many extra chapters, like beyond that. Even though I know that they're all like, what, 13 chapters? it felt like so much content here. I could not even imagine that we'd get all of this. And even then, like I do appreciate that we went from like, midway through a fight, or like, kind of like the tail end of a fight, honestly. We went through the fight in such excruciating detail. It was so worth it. Every single bit of it needed to be shown. I loved it so much. And then all of this was just the emotional fallout, really. And it was almost like it wasn't better than the fight, but I guess for me it was. I don't really care for fights all that much. But like this was such a good volume in total. Like there were so many different emotions in this one little package. If Zetman ever gets a release, I'm definitely buying it now because like this was worth like, the price of a volume of manga easily. Whoa. So yeah, that was Zetman Volume 10. I don't have a whole lot to say. I feel like I said everything I needed to say as we were like concluding all of this. Like I don't really know where we're going to go from here. This felt like a very good like end to a like almost to an entire part, really. Although at the same time, I feel like we're just going to get more alpha stuff, especially since we've set up the that one guy who exploded and all the sensors in the area. So I feel like this is probably a good place to have a mostly alphas focused arc. The way that the last one was very like Jin focused. Yeah, I would say that actually. Like the setting was very Jin focused, and then we got more like alphas halfway through. I think this would be a good way to have like a mostly alphas arc starting off, and then maybe near the end, like Jin could like come in or like decide that he wants to become the complete set. I think that would be a nice way to balance out the last arc with this new arc. Anyways, that was Zetman. Bye bye for now. Yeah, yeah.